Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dark Marketing. And in this episode, we're going to talk about HumanWriter for creating your content, specifically for backlinking campaigns. However, it's also an excellent tool for actually creating actual blog articles. It's completely free, except you'll need the ChatGPT OpenAI key. And the charge for articles is nominal, okay? Less than a penny generally. So, with that being said, this is Dark Marketing. I'm your host, Big Dom. Let's get started. Welcome to HumanWriter.com, and I'll put a link in the description below. And this is a great product. Sign up is fast and easy, and you'll be prompted to put your OpenAI key in immediately. So once you're in, this is what you'll get. This interface here, okay? And what we'll be going over today is single articles, multiple articles. And see, they've got a website generator here, but none of this is working yet. It says coming soon when you click on those links, so there's nothing for us to go over there. So what we want to do is we're going to review the single item option. Now, I've already created an article, so I want to go over the process of what I got. And in that process, basically, if I go to start, let's say I'm going to start a new article. Single article. New article, and here I'm going to enter the title of my article, and here I'm going to add my headings. Now this is a powerful tool, gives us a lot of control over the structure of what we're going to be creating, and we're going to want to add FAQs. So in this particular case, what I had already done is I ran one, and the title, The Importance of Having a Service Contract for Home Appliance Repair. So my objective here is to create an article for a backlinking campaign for a local client for appliance repair services. Okay, so we'll take a look at this output, what we get, and the approach that I took with that. So basically, what I did at first to get my title is I went to ChatGPT and I picked out a prompt that gives me a blog outline. Okay? And it asked me for keywords, but I gave it the title, The Importance of Having a Service Contract for Home Appliance Repair. And I misspelled the word, but they were pretty good about it. And then it gave me all this very lengthy output. I wound up really with ultimately 100 bullet points. So that was too much. And I said, I just need 10 headings only. And again, it began giving me good headings, but with bullets. So I went down, I said, stopped it, and I said, no bullets, just a heading, please. And voila, I got the headings to fill my content. So what I did is I took these headings, I pasted them in here, and note, there's a maximum of 20 headings here, it says underneath. So that's important. And I took the title my blog. And then I went to advanced options. I selected ChatGPT 4. ChatGPT 4 is going to make things, keep in mind, the more things you do, the cost of your article will go up slightly. So you'll get a feel for that pretty quickly. As I said, it's pretty nominal. My content length, people tend to choose 1,500, 2,000. Give me something in the middle, a little random. My language is default. My tone is professional. And now I needed keywords that I wanted to put in here. So what I did for the fast track, and now keep something in mind. I know my keywords. I know the keywords that I want to put into this campaign. So when I do ask ChatGPT for keywords, I also will supplement that with my own keywords or do certain different things. But for the purpose of this demo, okay, I got a pretty good list out of here. So what I do, because I asked it for 50, and I like these phrases. These are all nice. And they kind of fit under the sort of general tactic approach I'm taking with this blog. Then what I do is, of course, I get it up into my notepad and I paste them all into here. And while I have them all highlighted, I press Alt and U to make sure all the first words are capitalized, okay? And then I took that output and I put it into here, okay? And I did not select heading from keywords because it tells you turning on this option will ignore the headings manually entered above, and I don't want it to do that. I want those headings. I want that blog structure. Now, there's more things you could do. You could add avoid AI detection. It's going to cost you more. The AI, not AI, you're going to have to always in the end do a little bit of human touch, okay? And sometimes a small percentage of the spin variable when you're using this, when you're going to turn this into spin tax, might provide that for you. There's a small metric in there, because, we really try to achieve 100% quality with spinning. But the truth is, sometimes you're going to have 97 or 98 or 95, and you're so close that out of those that get indexed, it's not going to really matter. So, but those give you sometimes a little bit of human feel, just some things that I've been kind of picking up in my analysis. Now, I could add additional prompt for heading, additional prompt for content, additional prompt for FAQs, but I'm not going to do any of that. I just generated it and let it fly. And let's take a look at what I got. Of course, it reliably misspelled appliance because I misspelled it in my haste. But that's okay because we're just doing a demo. Probably I'll just rerun that again. But as I look at this and how it laid this out with those headings, I mean, really nice. And I just see lots of great keywords in here that aren't even ones that I necessarily had in that list. And so that is going to be important because you want lots of good keywords. And as I'm just giving this the fast scan because I'm something of a power reader, I see some pretty nice, looks like a pretty nice layout. Beautiful, okay? And there's our FAQs. See our FAQs appear on the side and we can edit them, but here is our FAQs in here. And so we can actually edit those FAQs and how they read. So when I'm, creating content for my site and I want a backlink and I'm a local business, hey, this is, or I'm doing it for my clients, this is the approach that I want these types of things. This is a very nice article-rich, content-rich article. Look what I got here. I wound up with 2,000 words, even though originally I asked for 1,700 in the output of this one. So now I've got a solid campaign here. So what we're going to do is we want to take this and we want to do some multiple articles. So we're going to try a different approach. And that being said, this is a great point because, if you're just doing a single article and you're going to do a single post campaign, your next step is going to be you're going to want to go to your spin rewriter. So we're going to go there and we're going to select to rewrite a single article, and then we're going to come back here, right click, select all, copy, paste, and you are off and running. Now, let's just talk about metrics for a second. Now, in this example, I don't have my title in the article because if I put my title in this article, I'm only going to get a single variation of it being spun, okay? And this is why when you use certain softwares, you really want to create more enhanced spun titles than you're possibly going to get by just spinning a single sentence or that is the title. And how can I be more clear about this? Let's take a look at thinking about the next step, which is Money Robot. Okay, so now many of you are using Money Robot. So think about the mechanics and the metrics. Okay, I've got a single article and I've got these 50 keywords. And these are some nice keywords, appliance repair service, and a whole range of some good, phrases that are sort of topical. Whereas more specific phrases that I might want to hit are oven repair service, refrigerator repair, dishwasher repair service, more specific phrases. So now I've got these phrases and I've also got other phrases that I may want to be targeting. So now I'm going to be coming to Money Robot to make my new campaign. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put those phrases in here because Money Robot is going to create a whole range of much broader titles based on the keywords that I put in here. So here's something to think about. At this point, I can create my articles, and I only use this feature for the titles because I don't rely on the article creation that it creates. But I might want to add more keywords before I do this process, okay? So I might want to make it 100 and put a lot of other more specific keywords. Or maybe I just want to ask ChatGPT for another 50 like this, where they're a little more broad, slightly more broad and topical, because having a mix makes things look more natural when those signals are kicking up to you for Google. In other words, what's really being recorded at these blogs that are not going to appear in Google search results are key data points. Anchor text with keywords is the tip of the spear, but that this article passed a certain reality check, that it appears to be realistic. And there's other factors, using lots of photos, lots of videos in the embedding process to spread the metric out. But what we can do with these keywords is we might just want to, when we trigger the advanced option, I might want to just generate articles here, and then take all these keywords, put them into here, and add another 50, because those are going to be my anchor text. And I know those keywords are going to be appearing naturally in variations of this article, because I'm going to go through it and give it a little manual review and make sure I've got some of the things I want. I may even sometimes take things or portions, go to ChatGPT and please rewrite this with a little more emphasis on a certain keyword phrase. And that's it, and put it back in there. And I always turn this up to 100. And so that you understand the power that this really provides to diversify your content is in what it's going to do with the titles. And those titles are going to have the keywords because you put it in here, and it's going to be there as anchor text, and that's going to be a powerful factor. So think about those metrics of what you're using in articles. So if you're just using one article with Money Robot for your post, rather than loading multiple articles using this feature, then you want to really spread your metrics out. And you may take this campaign and then rework it, where you take one version of the campaign and create your titles with just the partial set of words, and then the other campaign with a more robust set of words in your anchor text. And even your titles, you want to play with that a little bit, not be afraid, because ultimately every campaign you create, you're going to clone that campaign, run another diagram. I like to follow up with a social signal diagram and get the feel that, then you go to a third campaign and you again change the diagram, but you change a few factors, and this makes things appear much more natural. Use a lot of images. If you can put 20 images in, that's fantastic. 20 videos, that's fantastic. You're going to get a nice diversification that appears natural, that the signals that are getting pumped upwards for ranking and scoring are going to be appearing natural. Not a lot of, hey, the same article over and over has the same photo and the same video in it. Now there are times when that can be inappropriate in the context of what you're posting, but in the big game picture, that's not really going to work for you. So think about these metrics as opposed to like when you're going to create multiple articles. And so now let's also step back to HumanWriter, which that's what this is about, and look at creating multiple articles and a different approach. Now guys, I have a video on Spin Rewriter if you want to check that out. And of course I have multiple videos on Money Robot. And since I just did a video on local SEO and I used an appliance repair client, I thought keeping it all under the same context, because I also have a lot of questions in my community. So I'm kind of, giving you a big picture overview for a lot of people as I follow through these videos while I'm teaching specific topics like HumanWriter. So that being said, let's move on to new multiple articles. Okay, so the subject of my project is just going to be appliance repair, and I might put my client name in there. But now I need articles, so one title in each line. So what I did is I went to ChatGPT And I enabled the web pilot, and I said I need 10 titles on the subject of home appliance repair, and they can be specific like oven repair, dishwasher repair, etc. It gave me 10 nice titles, but they had quotes, so I asked it to no quotes please. It rewrote them for me. So let's take that and drop it in and move on to the next step. Boom. Now, in this example, I won't add FAQ, but I will use ChatGPT 4. I'm going to add some bullet points. I'm going to make my articles 1600. I'm not going to do anything else extra for this example. However, these are really great tools. I encourage you to experiment with them because, of course, if you're using this to actually do your real blog content as your starting basis, you want to, especially in the single option, take advantage of these options. This is a very friendly product to get the feel for, and it works quickly. It only took seconds for a single article to produce. So that being said, we're going to just run it as it is. And, oh gee, my tone is professional. And not asking me for anything additional here. So let's go, generate article. And, oh, save article success, articles posting, and it's begun. So let me pause the video and we'll come back in a few minutes. And just a quick clip, so when it's actually going, you can actually see it progress, and while it's happening, so you get a sense of what's going on. We're about 2.5 minutes in. Okay, and that whole thing took about 7 minutes. So let's take a look at what the output is. Troubleshooting common issues in refrigerator repair. So, understanding the basics of refrigerator functioning, recognizing the symptoms of refrigerator malfunctions, cooling, thing, boom, peach, jump, boom. Nice. Resolving issues with. These are some really, I have to say, some really great topics. And there's our bullet points. Looks nice, okay? Words, 716. Very nice, okay? Let's go back and look at another one. DIY fixes for dishwasher. So now I either have 10 different topics for 10 different campaigns, or I might be combining these, okay? And doing, like, if you're using anything other than Money Robot, you're going to have multiple articles you're going to be posting for. So keep something in mind. Those keywords, that's why you want to kind of keep your topics together, because sometimes you got to be careful that your keywords, you're not going to be talking about refrigerator repair on a blog that's talking about oven repair. So you have to think about those logistics and how you're going to use this material. So, like in my case, if I'm going to do say 10 articles that I want to use in a single campaign, I won't diversify them on individual types of repair, but rather a more, well, no, that's not true, but they might have a more general over topic, which is DIY, do it yourself, or something to do with contracts and service and appliance repair. So we're going to have a lot of other phrases that we want, like appliance repair contracts and things like that. So that being said, you want to think about the metric. But even if I wanted to take different articles, and put a lot of keywords, and it's okay because I'm going to have a lot of general keywords in here, like I pointed out in this example. There's something good. Here's an extra little tip about Money Robot, okay? When we go to the advanced feature, we see the breakdown that what assembles the blog title. It's not only what it creates, the variation of the keywords. As I ran this, and this output, we're not using that ever, okay? But look, we've got the raw material here, and I can select it all and copy that out. Now keep in mind, the titles aren't going to say the best new keyword, whatever, how it tries to put together a nice subject for the title. I can take that out, and look, I pasted it in here, and we can see the spin tags. And now I've got all these multiple titles set up as spin tags. I can take that into another program, or when I'm setting up my files, if I'm going to load my articles from a folder, I want my spin tags already created. And the first segment at the top is the titles. So you can put you have your spin tax, all different ways to manipulate things. Now, this also has some other features that even when you're using this, load titles, this now gets grayed out. So, but you still see things built out of, what it's using. And it's important that, just a little tip here, to analyze those pieces. Learn to work your spin tax. Spin tax is an art form. And doing a good job with how you're assembling that content and diversifying it, spin tax is just one variable. But, I could take these keywords and then I can take another more specific set of keywords and ask it to, again, click the create unique articles. We're not doing it for the articles, we're doing it for the titles that it's going to give us. And we can use that spin tax effectively in other programs, or, when we go to the next phase. Because now I've got, 10 articles here. And you could see they were just fractions of a penny. Okay, so now let's get down here to download. Now we can download these as text files, and we can go over to Spin Rewriter, right, and go rewrite multiple articles. But we're not going to enter article 1 here. What we're going to do is select upload text files, and then we can upload all of our text files and generate our spin tax using Spin Rewriter. Okay, so understanding that, but coming back here, got some really good stuff, and I've been using this just all the way around. I'm finding just new ways to play my metrics in a broad approach, so I can, generate 10 articles, 20 articles, and a lot of times I will generate articles, and there are only, and I really want the article that I'm going to turn it into something that I'm going to write myself, and I'll generate 10, and I'm going to use the content from 2 of it, and I'm going to piece that together, and I'm going to bring the human touch into play, because I'm going to write some myself and do some rewording. But ChatGPT is my assistant. It helps me get ideas, and often, sometimes in its research, picks up some different pointers or points that I realize, ooh, I want to talk about that. I have my own text or that, descriptions that I want to write, or paragraphs into there. So don't be afraid to put the human touch, because I cannot stress enough how important the quality of your campaigns are. And why even using a product like Money Robot can be so super effective. And I would probably say the single biggest factor is, it's effective in its speed of setup. You don't have the need for all the third-party API headache, and even pressing a button to generate email accounts for all of the blogs that you're going to be creating. All that's out of the way. You can focus on the quality of your campaign, and the quality must be great. You must use lots of images, lots of video, okay? Even if you don't have your own video, put other people's videos in with that topic. That is going to help get those links indexed better and have a better ranking, because Google's going to say, oh yeah, one of the data points that's going to get carried up with that keyword ranking, there's a video in there that happens to be about that topic. Understand? And videos also drive up engagement. People will stop, perhaps click on the video. These backlinks do generate traffic. And if you're global, well, you're going to be global anyway, because sometimes these things, they're going to come up all over the world. Now, they may not come up because they're not searched for in other parts of the world, but when they hit lesser engines with weaker algorithms, some of these results, they're going to come up, and there are people that access and go through these blogs, and they will generate small bits of traffic that are going to send signals from outside of Google without any Google Analytics telling Google he is getting visitors from someplace else. And it's related to these sources. Doesn't have to be big. Gives you a good base of some nice starting signals. Over time, and as some of these things build rank, they do much better and will actually contribute to traffic over time, especially if you're a large shopping site, large blog site, okay? They will add an edge in the long game. But mostly the big thing that they do is they're going to drive up your ranking and make your big game much bigger. And so you tend not to really recognize those small amounts of traffic, but you'll see it in your statistics. You'll see organic traffic from places that you didn't get it before, and that's a good thing, because my clients, many of them are global. So when I'm doing a campaign for them, it's got to be excellent. And so this way, when it runs through the translation of some particular country, any error in how it really reads is really due to the translation ultimately. But again, that drives up that factor, and they get traffic from search results in lesser engines. So I like to make sure that those articles that I'm creating for those clients are of the highest quality and completely readable and make sense. Because in the high-tech industry, unfortunately or fortunately, English is the dominant language, okay? So even companies that are in China or Taiwan or Korea, they tend to often have content in English, or their engineers are able to read, write, or speak fluent English because it's required, because all of the documentation, the technical papers, the white papers, the PDFs, 99.9% of it, they are in the English language. And from experience, knowing from my clients who have told me, we need to put this content into English because it does not translate into traditional Chinese correctly. There's not a correct way for us to say it. And so we really have to rely on English when things get into the real science of some of these high-tech technologies. But that being said, you understand the need to really make quality campaigns. So I can't put enough emphasis on putting your real work into making a piece of artwork in the sense of what your campaign is going to generate in the end and the results that you're going to get, and how to think about the metrics of diversifying things and the importance of having to use the many different types of titles. Those titles have the anchor text keywords, see that connection, and they're in the document in other places. So remember, everyone, think about your metrics, okay? The diversity of your titles, but also the specificity of the keywords that are nested into those titles. And using a bit of a mix with your keywords where you've got a lot of fine specificity and a little bit of a broader topic overview keywords. Learn to mix them up to do different campaign types and experiment. If you're doing something extremely targeted with a short amount of keywords, you're most likely just going to be doing it to a small post, okay? You're not going to index it. You're going to let it index naturally and see how the variations come up. Get your variations out of your titles and lots of images, videos. You can also use Spintax effectively to post images randomly in the middle of articles. So lots of things to think about of how you can actually edit the output of your content. But it all starts with great content creation and having really good tools to help assist you. That's it for this video, everyone. I hope everyone has a very pleasant holiday and a great new year 2024. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give us a like and to also subscribe. We've got a lot of great videos coming up in the next few days. Happy New Year, everyone.